Hey there, it's Vicki Howell here to show you how to do the Harlequin stitch in crochet. It's such a cool stitch because it has this really great diamond effect, but the diamonds are surrounding these swirls. So I'm going to show you how to create this effect. So you're going to start with a chain, and it is multiples of 8 plus 2. I've already done this chain. And so for your first row, you are going to single crochet in the second chain from hook, so you don't count the one on your hook. So 1, 2, then you're going to skip the next 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and then you'll work in the next chain. So what we're going to be doing in the next chain are 3 double crochets, 1 chain, and then 3 more double crochets. And I'm working in American terms. So we're creating our first little shell. So that's 1, 2, so we yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through up a loop, and then we yarn over and pull through 2 loops 2 times, which is why it's called a double crochet. Then we chain 1, and then we do the exact same thing still in that same chain. One, 2, 3. All right, and that completes this shell. You can see that right there. Okay, then from here, we are going to skip the next 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and we will work in the next one after that. And we're going to single crochet. And what that does, you can see, is the stitches that you've skipped, the chains you've skipped, is sort of like the little floor that your shell on that side will lay on. Okay, then from there, we are going to do that repeat. So you would do that whole little cycle that we just did, not the initial single crochet in the chain, but the shell and then the chain and the skip again and again. So I'm going to do that one more time. So we will we'll skip the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in this next one, we're going to create our shell. So again, that's 3 double crochets, a chain, and then 3 more double crochets in that same stitch. Okay, and then we are ending with a single crochet in the last. You skip 1, 2, 3 more, and you end the row with a single crochet. Okay, and that is row 1. That's the only time that you'll ever repeat row 1, because we will no longer be dealing with our foundation chain. So from here, our rows 2 to 5 are the repeat for the Harlequin stitch. So next up, we're going to turn our piece. We're going to chain 3. And we're going to skip that double crochet, that first double crochet out. So we're going to skip the first single crochet, and then we're going to do what's called a DC3 tog, or double crochet 3 stitches together. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, insert the hook of the first stitch, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, but not complete that double crochet. Instead, we're going to go to the next one and do the exact same thing. Yarn over, insert, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we have these 3 on our hook, and we're going to do the same in that last the last of the 3 stitches, pull through 2, and then the last step of our DC3 tog is to yarn over and pull through all of the loops. And that is a double crochet 3 stitches together. So this is what you will do when you are at ends like this. You'll make a little half shell essentially, or the mirror image rather of a little half shell. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we are going to do the exact same thing, but this time we're going to be working over double the amount of stitches. First, what we want to do though is we want to chain 7. And then we want to skip over this little chain space. And we're going to DC 6 TOG to this time. So double crochet 6 together this time. But we're skipping this chain right here. So, or excuse me, we're skipping the chain right here, and we skip the single crochet here. So we're only ever working on the double crochets, which is why it's called a D6 TOG. Okay, so we yarn over, insert, pull through 2, don't finish it though, yarn over, insert in the second stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Then the third. Remember, we're skipping over this single crochet. Go to the next double crochet, which is on that other shell. And then you're going to go into the last. And you're going to have a fully loaded hook. So you'll see all of these loops are lined up together. You'll have 7 loops on your hook. And so just like you did for our DC3 together, you'll do for this DC6 together. You're going to yarn over and pull through all of the loops. And that has decreased down to 1, but you're compensating for that with these chains. You'll also notice that this adds a sort of a reverse image of a shell, but tucked in between these 2 others, which is pretty cool, if you ask me. All right, so then what we're going to be doing is that is essentially the repeat. So you are going to, again, chain 7. And we are going to work to the last, we're going to work the last 3 double crochets. We've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to skip over that chain. We don't work in that. We're just working in these 3. We're going to do another DC3 together. Now for your piece, if you're working on a longer piece, you will continue doing the DC6 together. But at the end, you need these little half shells. So you'll work to that. And then you will do another DC, just a single DC in this very last stitch, so that it mirrors the other end. Okay, so that was row 2. All right, row 3, we're going to chain 3 again. And you create 3 chains because that creates the height of our double crochet stitch. Apologies, I just knocked the camera. All right, so we're going to skip this first double crochet, and then we are going to, in this top of this, the DC3 tog, this is where we're going to work our first partial shell. So what we want to do is we want to do 3 double crochets in that same space. So essentially we're replacing the stitches that we got rid of on the row below. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then we have this big old gap here, and we need to close that because this is not an open weave stitch, as you see. So from here, what we want to do is we want to single crochet but we are going to work around to close the gap of this chain. So let me pull this out again. So we are working in the chain space, but 2 rows down. So this would be 1 row down, this would be 2, and that chain space from the shell, we're going to insert our hook there. We're yarning over the chain space and creating a single crochet. And what that does is that closes that gap. Okay, so then we're going to go, we're now at a full shell. This was our double crochet 6 together right here. So here what we need to do is we need to add all of those stitches back together again. So that means that we need to do another shell, but right in the top of this stitch. So our shell is 3 double crochets, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Okay, and now we're over to our next gap. So we need to close this chain gap again. So we're going to be working in that in the chain stitch 2 rows below again by single crocheting over, working over that chain 7 space. And we close that up. Okay, and then our last one, we have another, so you would repeat this for all of your double crochet 6s together. You would create these full shells, and you can see that this is where your shape comes from, that sort of swirly diamond. But we're at the end, so we know that we have our little minis, so we're only going to need to work 3 double crochets in the top of that DC3 together from the row below. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we'll work a double crochet in this last stitch. Again, just to mirror that chain 3 from the beginning. So that is row 3. Okay, so for row 4, we are going to chain 4, and this chain counts as a single crochet and a chain 3. We're going to skip this first double crochet, and then we're going to do our decreases. So we're going to do a double crochet 6 together here. And we know that we're going to work over this half shell and half of the next shell. So this is what causes these little wheels to alternate. So we are going to go into our next one using the exact same method as I just showed you a couple rows ago down. There's 3. We skip that single crochet and we work in the next 3 double crochets. Yarn over, pull through all 7 of those loops. Make sure that you don't pull through, oh, nope. Yeah. Pull through all 7 of those loops, and we have finished our single crochet 6 together. Okay, so next up, we are going to chain our 7 again, because we need to create that stitch count for later. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops, I just pulled it up. Okay, so now we are going to work our DC6 together across the rest of the shell right here, and then this half shell. So again, working exactly the same way. Two, 3. Okay, so total of 6 double crocheted together. Pull through our 7 loops, and if you slide your hook off like I just did on accident, and just carefully feed it back through, grab it, and pull it. Okay, so now at the end, since we only have this little sort of half shell, we don't need to do a whole chain 7. You're going to just chain 3, and then you will single crochet in the top of the turning chain from the row below. So sometimes this can be fussy. Honestly, I wouldn't stress about it. Just kind of find a place that will work and go for it. Okay, single crochet. Okay, that was row 4. So let's work our final row for our repeat. Row 5. We're going to chain 1. We are going to skip this first chain 3 space, and then we're going to work our shell into this decreased 6s. So we know now, we're old pros at this, that we just need to work 3 double crochets, a chain, three double crochets. And then we need to close this chain space. You're doing exactly the same thing as you've done on this previous rounds. It's just we're just changing the positioning so that you have that alternating. So there's no new skills here. It's just placement. So we went to the chain 2 rows below, worked over our chain 7. All right, and then you would keep repeating as the pattern calls for, in that manner, creating your shells until you get to the end of your row. And then for here, for us, that means that we are working another shell right here, because this is also a double crochet 6 together. So 3 double crochets, and then we are going to end with a single crochet at the base of our turning chain. So our turning chain was going, which is right here. Remember, it counts as a single crochet and the chain 3. So essentially, to mirror the chain 3 that we skipped at the very beginning back here, we need to, right here, we need to mirror that over here. So this chain will do that if we single crochet in the first of the chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. So we want to back it up. And single crochet into that. And that's it. That is all you need to know to work the Harlequin stitch. This stitch is really beautiful for coats or for blankets, and it sort of even levels it up even more if you work it in striped colors like we did for this Block Builder Club block right here. This is our Harlequin romance block from our Yarnier BBC Crochet Club. Super fun, really pretty, and once you get those rows down, really simple to do. All right, if you have any questions, just make sure to post them in the comment section and I will get back to you. Thanks.